Everybody knows of Nicole Brown Simpson, and sadly, people know of her because of her marriage to O.J. Simpson and her tragic death. She wasn't a movie star, she wasn't a supermodel or super famous, but her death has made her famous for years to come. And probably not for the reasons that she would want to be. Her story is very sad, very tragic, but she did live a pretty good life before that. And in this video, of course, we are going to highlight a lot of controversy, including her family, including some of the talking points that have been going on through the years and how we're looking at them now. We are going to talk about these things also. But as usual, I do want to highlight who Nicole Brown Simpson, the person, was. She was a person, okay, not just a victim. And she had her own life. She was full of hopes and dreams. She had things that she wanted to accomplish for her future. And she was just a happy woman. Now we're going to start with her childhood and we're going to get into it all. And if you haven't already checked out my O.J. Simpson video, I will pin it in the comment section for you guys and in the end cards because there are some details that is already in his video. So I didn't want to repeat myself and put it in her video. So consider this like a part 2 to the O.J. Simpson video. Before we get into all of this, hey friend, welcome to my channel, Crane Allude, where we deep dive and break down the most iconic stars to history. If you're not yet subscribed, please be sure to do so. And if you're already subscribed, please turn on your notification bell so you never miss an upload. Now, without further ado, let's get into this video. Let's start with her childhood. So Nicole Brown's story starts in Frankfurt, West Germany, where she entered the world on May 19th, 1959. Her parents, Juditha and Louis Brown, who raised their children as devout Catholics, kicked off their family life in Germany, where Louis was serving up news for the American Armed Forces via the Stars and Stripes publication. Nicole and her older sister Denise were the first of what would become a quartet of daughters before the family packed up and moved stateside to Garden Grove, California. It wasn't long before 2 more girls, Dominique and Tanya, joined the family. Adjusting to life in sunny California was a breeze for Nicole. As a teenager, she was drawn to the beach like a magnet, embodying the quintessential California girl vibe. She even snagged the title of homecoming princess at Donna Hills High School, proving her natural charm and beauty weren't going unnoticed.
With mother making the costume, they danced tap, ballet, you name it. Hawaiian, this time Dominique joining Nicole. The girls did everything together, had their tonsils out together. Nicole already beautiful. There's communion together.
We always thought, oh, we're getting married when we had our veils on.
Yet the family says even dancing, Nicole worked hardest to get it right. She was also extremely bright. She had skipped the 4th grade and entered a class for gifted children.
She was a leader. If Nicole said it was okay, everybody else was okay.
Nicole wasn't just another pretty face. She had ambitions and a zest for life that shone brightly, described by a friend as a very vivacious woman. At the time of her untimely death at 35, she was remembered for her radiant personality and dedication to staying in shape. Nicole was committed to her morning runs, clocking in 9 miles daily and was mindful about her diet.
But yeah, she was running like 9 miles a day. I don't know how she did it, but yeah, she was in shape.
But her interest didn't stop there. Photography caught her eye, and she dreamed of capturing the world through the lens. While honing her photography skills, she also dabbled in modeling during her spare time.
She was going to Dana Hills High School when I met her, and her and Denise, we would do pictures, and they were the most beautiful women that you've ever seen. I mean, they were just stunning. After high school, she wanted to be a photographer like myself.
She also showed flashes of creative talent behind the camera and impressed her old friend David LeBon.
Savvy at it.
Her high school teacher, Bill Prestridge, remembered Nicole as someone who was always bubbly, happy, and smiling, a young woman eager to leap into the future and seize every opportunity. Before stepping into the spotlight that would later define much of her life, Nicole took a brief stint at a clothing boutique, which lasted all of 2 weeks. It wasn't long after that she landed a job at the Daisy, a Beverly Hills nightclub. This job would set her on a path that intertwined with O.J. Simpson, marking the beginning of a chapter filled with both love and tragedy. Now let's talk about their marriage. Nicole Brown's life took a dramatic turn in 1977 when at just 18 and working as a waitress at the Daisy, a swanky Beverly Hills nightclub, she caught the eye of O.J. Simpson, the American football star. Despite a significant age gap of nearly 12 years and Simpson still being married to his first wife, Marguerite, who was pregnant with their daughter at the time, the sparks between Nicole and Simpson were undeniable. Simpson's marriage to Marguerite ended in divorce by March 1979, paving the way for his relationship with Nicole to deepen. Fast forward to February 1985, Nicole and OJ tied the knot in a lavish ceremony at his sprawling Brentwood mansion, marking the start of what would be a tumultuous marriage. Nicole embraced her new identity as Nicole Brown Simpson and soon became a devoted mother to their two children, Sydney and Justin, born in 1985 and 1987. She was hands-on, shunning the idea of nannies, actively participating in her kids' lives through dance and karate lessons, and hosting family gatherings. Alongside her role as a mother, she ventured into interior decorating, though her client base was limited to her husband and his circles.
There's Grubby. There's Grubby. August 10th, 1988. Daddy looks pretty handsome at 41, doesn't he?
Simpson's children from his first marriage, this is Arnell, were part of the household too. Whole Brown clan is very much a part of the rollicking extended family. Nicole planning the holidays they all spent together. Vacations were together too. Here's Nicole, Dominique, and their babies. And friends were always around who say Nicole loved decorating, cooking, and not the limelight.
Make the basket. Make the basket.
However, Nicole's marriage to the former NFL icon was anything but peaceful. Behind the closed doors of their opulent home, Simpson was not just unfaithful, he was violently hitting on her. Friends and family members noted visible bruises on Nicole, and police interventions at their residence were not uncommon. A particularly harrowing incident occurred on New Year's Eve 1989 when Simpson allegedly hit Nicole, leaving her with severe injuries. He was charged with spousal battery but managed to avoid jail time, instead receiving a sentence that included community service, fines, and probation. And despite these dark times, the couple would publicly claim their marriage was stronger than ever. Simpson even attempted to downplay the severity of their issues in a media interview, describing their conflicts as mutual and trivial. The charade couldn't last forever. By 1992, Nicole had had enough of the abuse and infidelity, filing for divorce in February. The divorce was finalized later that year on October 15. However, the shadow of her tumultuous marriage to Simpson lingered, and in 1993, Nicole and Simpson briefly toyed with the idea of getting back together, but it wasn't long before Simpson's abusive behavior resurfaced. Nicole confided in her mother that Simpson seemed to be everywhere she went, a constant, unnerving presence in her life. A disturbing incident on October 25, 1993, led Nicole to call the police, reporting Simpson's violent behavior after he discovered a photograph of a man Nicole had dated during their separation. A 911 audio recording played during O.J. Simpson's murder trial captured a terrified Nicole claiming Simpson was threatening to physically hit her, while Simpson could be heard in the background hurling accusations and insults at her, telling her that she was giving somebody top, if you catch my drift, in the house while the kids were there. Just crazy. This was the final straw for Nicole, who decided to move out of their shared home for good, effectively ending any chance of reconciliation. Freed from the constraints of her marriage, Nicole was eager to explore life on her own terms. Having been with Simpson since she was 18, she had missed out on many typical young adult experiences and was ready to make up for lost time. The media later portrayed Nicole as someone who indulged in wild affairs throughout her marriage, even labeling her a party girl in an attempt to defend OJ. Race Newman, a self-proclaimed former substance dealer, described Nicole as a party animal who loved dancing at clubs, indulging in coca, and surrounding herself with attractive men. And despite their tumultuous relationship, Nicole admitted to a friend, Cora Fishman, that she and Simpson still had intimate encounters, attributing it to the incredible sensual chemistry they shared.
And the Brown family is angry at the tabloid coverage of her brief life as a single woman and what they feel is a twisted portrait of her as a party girl who cared only about dancing. That woman, they want you to know, did not exist.
They're trashing somebody who can't even defend herself. She can't do anything about it.
Because everybody thinks they know the truth and they know the
Yes.
story.
I mean, they're stepping on a dead person. Wicked tongues.
National Enquirer, front page. Someone sells a picture, obviously sells a picture of her in a hot tub.
She wasn't married. She was divorced. She was a single woman. She was allowed to have friends and go out.
They talked about drugs. She was
So anti-drug. I mean, just because you stay out and go dancing doesn't mean you do drugs.
They say that Nicole, like a lot of people at some point, may have tried drugs, but she was not a user. And everyone Primetime spoke with, friends, family, told us Nicole Simpson was first and always a mom. The kind who had gaily turned the family den into an instant sleepaway camp for neighborhood kids. Always there organizing games, a day at the movies, or a beginner's trip down a ski slope.
Now, in January 1994, Nicole Brown Simpson made a fresh start from her old place on Gretna Street, moving into a lavish 3-story rental townhome in Brentwood, a stunning Mediterranean-style pad sprawling over 3,400 square feet, decked out with multiple patios and a rooftop sun deck, perfect for soaking up the California sun. Nestled near the foothills of the Santa Monica Mountains and a mere 4 miles from the shimmering ocean, Nicole's new neighborhood was the epitome of upscale living. With country clubs, parks, hiking trails, and attractions like the Santa Monica Pier all within reach, not to mention the chic shops, fancy restaurants, and grocery markets, Nicole was living the high life, cruising around in her Ferrari. Her sister Denise couldn't help but gush about Nicole's newfound zest for life in a 1994 interview. Nicole was so vivacious, so full of life, Denise said, thrilled that Nicole was finally able to make her own friends and plan adventures revolving around her kids, like camping trips to Yosemite and getaways to Club Med. It was during this vibrant chapter of Nicole's life that she crossed paths with 25-year-old Ron Goldman, a restaurant waiter, about 6 weeks before their tragic murders. Despite what the rumor mill might suggest, those close to them confirmed that Nicole and Ron shared a purely platonic bond, occasionally grabbing coffee or dinner together. Ron even had the keys to Nicole's Ferrari, borrowing it for a lunch outing with his buddy Craig Clark, who later recounted Ron referring to it as his friend Nicole's car. The peaceful early hours of June 13, 1994, shattered Nicole's Brentwood sanctuary. She and Ron Goldman were discovered dead outside her home, with Ron lying in a fetal position amidst a horrifying scene of blood. A passerby stumbling upon the gruesome sight prompted an immediate police response. Later that day, authorities brought in O.J. Simpson as a potential witness, given that he and Nicole had been at their daughter's dance recital together just a day before. And although Simpson initially left the police station, it wasn't long before he found himself squarely in the crosshairs of the investigation, this time as a prime suspect in the murders. What followed was a media frenzy that captivated the nation. A high-speed police chase broadcast live on TV, followed by a trial that was as emotionally charged as it was racially polarized. Dubbed the trial of the century, the proceedings stretch over 8 grueling months, ending in October 1995, with the jury acquitting Simpson of all charges, leaving many shocked and divided over the verdict. However, the story didn't end there. In February 1997, the families of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman found a semblance of justice when a civil court found Simpson liable for their wrongful deaths. The judgment against him included $8.5 million in compensatory damages to the Goldman family and an additional $25 million in punitive damages, which was to be divided between the Goldman family and Nicole's children.
Just 5 days.
Back in 1995, a People magazine feature stirred up quite the conversation about the Brown family, suggesting that they were possibly a bit too captivated by O.J. Simpson's fame and fortune. Shelley Levitt wrote that some folks believe the Browns had reaped the benefits of being close to Simpson. For instance, Simpson reportedly helped Nicole's dad get a Hertz dealership, his own franchise, and even covered the college tuition for Nicole's younger sisters. Financially, he put all of Nicole's family on while allegedly ignoring his own family with Marguerite. The documentary O.J. Made in America shed some light on this, with the Hertz CEO revealing how the Browns seemingly relied on O.J. financially. And in my O.J. video, I speak about how Hertz was, really funding his life. So it all goes in together. Go watch the O.J. video. But the CEO of Hertz revealed how the Browns relied on O.J. financially. It appears O.J. played a significant role in supporting not just Nicole, but her entire family, even at the expense of his own relatives back in San Francisco. Here's the rundown. So O.J. didn't just stop at securing a dealership for Nicole's father. He also routed all his travel bookings through Nicole's mom, who worked as a travel agent, and footed the bill for the college education of his sisters. Whenever O.J. and Nicole had a fallout, which unfortunately happened all the time, he tried to smooth things over with an extravagant gift or a fancier car for Nicole. One particularly unsettling detail is that despite Nicole's father originally opposing his daughter dating or marrying black men, he seemed to make an exception for O.J., likely swayed by O.J.'s wealth.
What did you think when your 18-year-old daughter came home with O.J. Simpson? I didn't know who he was.
She called me and she says, Mama, I'm coming by with a friend of mine. And I said, fine. And she says, Mama, he's a black man. I said, that's okay. I said, you come by.
He even went to her father to ask formal permission.
I found him to be very affable, very, very outgoing, Very nice guy.
Yeah, we learned a lesson.
And he became part of the family.
The cycle of violence and arguments between OJ and Nicole was alarmingly frequent, becoming an unsettling norm within the Brown household. Even when the Simpson family witnessed these outbursts, OJ would blame Nicole, claiming she was the instigator. The Browns, somewhat desensitized to the constant turmoil, would often dismiss it as just another one of OJ's angry episodes.
Yeah, his explanation was, well, I've been away all week. Yeah, I want 100% of her when I'm home.
Yeah.
And that would make her really tense.
They fought.
But every relationship goes up and down.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
there's
argued.
arguments.
She did tell me that he has a bad temper, which we knew. But,
And so did she.
so did she.
He was insanely jealous.
You said insanely jealous. What did you mean?
Possessive. He
Yeah, he was real possessive. She was his. He wanted her to be attractive, but for him, and that's as far as it went.
New Year's Eve, police found Nicole Simpson hiding outside, saying her husband threatened to kill her. Simpson pled no contest to wife beating, but Nicole implied to her mother it was her fault too. Do you say to yourself, how could we not have known?
You can't put that guilt up on you. She would have done exactly what she wanted to do and how she wanted to do it. That was recorded. No, we can't put that guilt up on us. Really not. And we won't.
And in their mourning, the Brown family is outraged by suggestions they were influenced by financial dependence on Simpson. Lou Brown said it was a short-term retirement job which didn't make much money. And those family vacations, he says they always paid their own airfare and meals.
Yeah, I was watching some old interviews on the family and they seem so chill. I don't know. But, you can't judge anything by that. You don't know. Everybody agrees differently. But it was kind of like asking them, did you guys know? And them just saying like, no, well, we didn't know. She didn't speak about it. When there was police records, there was arrests made. OJ was arrested. It was all over the news, TV. You had to know this was happening to your daughter, to the point where your daughter was keeping photos of what was happening to her in a safety deposit box just in case her life was taken. Like, you had to know. One of the sisters even said that, well, we lived an hour away. So in their Diane Sawyer interview, I suggest you guys go and watch the Diane Sawyer full interview with the family, because that was one of the ones, I wish like a body language expert or analyst would, break that video down to just see what's going on with that. Because, in my limited knowledge of body language, I saw a lot of things there that I didn't really, it was just screaming at me. So I would love for, if you follow any body language experts on YouTube, go share this video with them, the Diane Sawyer one, and ask them to break that down, because that was very interesting to me. Okay. I'm not, saying anything, but that was interesting to me. However, though, the real power play might have been the children OJ shared with Nicole. Despite the Browns believing OJ was responsible for Nicole's death, the welfare of the children remained a delicate issue. The possibility of OJ alienating the children from the Brown family was a looming threat, one that could have easily been used to sway opinions or maintain peace, perhaps to influence the Browns' stance on legal matters, or simply for the children's sake. And none of the children have spoken out since their mom, the passing. And that could have been an issue. So they probably was just walking on eggshells for the sake of the children, because it's like, yeah, we don't want your dad to hurt you. He, had custody and all of that. Like, who knows too? So it probably is not even just a financial thing. They probably was just walking on eggshells for the sake of the kids, okay? Gloria Allred, the Brown family's lawyer at the time, fiercely denied that any material benefits influenced the Browns' view of Nicole's troubled marriage. She argued that no luxury could justify the loss of Nicole, emphasizing that the family would have preferred Nicole's presence over any gifts. Faye Resnick, a close friend of Nicole, who was also her rumored lover, added another layer to the narrative by suggesting that the Browns might have encouraged Nicole to stay with OJ. During a critical moment in 1992, when she contemplated divorce, according to Resnick, Nicole felt trapped by OJ's controlling nature, a sentiment that echoes through the years and remains part of the ongoing speculation about the dynamics within Nicole's marriage and her relationship with the family. As the story continues to unfold, even decades later, through discussions and portrayals like an American Crime Story, the full truth of the Browns' involvement and influence remains cloaked in mystery, so we will never know. But it was said that, yeah, they knew, and they just kind of like, okay. But we don't know. That's just interesting to see how, in my opinion, I try to remain as opinionless as possible. Of course, I do believe OJ is not 1,000% innocent of this, although the courts did find him innocent, because even the book, If I Did Do It, and him admitting in interviews, there was a Fox interview that he did, in promotion of the book, etc., stating that if I did do it, he allegedly, hypothetically, did a play-by-play of how it went down. He went to the house to confront Nicole about, parties that she was doing where, like Diddy-type parties, only that she was getting on the coca, and so as everyone else around her was getting on the coca and other substances, and then everyone together, like groups of people, were getting intimate with each other. If you can read between the lines of what I was saying. And OJ was not happy about it because he claimed that the kids would be in the house, which in a 911 call that was played during the trial, and a 911 call that was played when Nicole was talking to the 911 operator, you could hear, and I'm not going to play it here because it's so explicit. I don't want issues with YouTube, but you could hear OJ in the background, the operator's picking it up, saying, hey, you didn't care about all of this when you was, sucking this man off while the kids are here. And she wasn't really denying it to OJ. She was just telling the police officers, just come here because he's gonna, beat me up. I'm not saying that, I don't know what to make of that, but this was his story of why he did it. And then Ron Goldman, though they say they were just friends, we don't know. A lot of people say they were just platonic friends, but then a lot of people said they weren't. They were more than that, lovers. I mean, he was driving her Ferrari. They were meeting for lunch. He was young. He was also allegedly into substances, etc. He knew where her house was and he would frequent that often. Even the night he came to her house to drop off the glasses for her mom, they could have been more. There was bath water that was still warm when Nicole passed away, and candles that was by the bathtub and stuff. Was it an intimate setup and OJ just met with them? And the fact that they were still intimate, OJ and Nicole, it's just a lot that just goes into this. And the more you dig into this story, it's just too much. It's too much. It's just more and more and more. And you don't know which direction to really take it because there are so many directions you can take it. And it's Hollywood. It's weird. There was a party scene. There was substances. I just feel like it's a sticky slope, It's a sticky slope. And according to OJ, he went there to confront her for her alleged parties, and he blacked out because in conversation with Nicole, as he's confronting Nicole, Ron was there, and Ron threatened to beat him up with karate. If you watch my OJ video, Ron was actually trained in karate. He was a black belt, I believe. And so that's crazy in itself. And as Ron got violent, OJ said he blacked out and then he just remembers waking up in a pool of blood. He really said this, guys. And again, it's just too much, so I'm not going to play that clip on YouTube, but you guys can check that out. And in my OJ video, there's just a little bit more details with the theories, and it's just a case that is very, very weird, and I don't know what to think. I feel like, Ron, may he rest in peace, because he's usually forgotten when people talk about this case. He was at the wrong place at the wrong time. And Nicole, I just wish she would have got away, but money. And a lot of people too didn't have sympathy for her during the trial because of how she got with OJ. It was an affair. You broke up a home. Some people was like, she broke up a home. Who cares? Blah, blah, blah. But I still don't think that's a reason for someone dying in such a way, It's such a dark way. I don't know. Either way, comment below your thoughts. I just know that though it was racially motivated a lot, the trials, I'm not one of those people that's going to like, OJ was, he just was clean in here. I already gave some of my stints in his video that's a little bit more in depth. So comment below your thoughts. And I will be doing one for Kris Jenner in the later future. I just feel like it's too soon now for Kris, where her part in this too, I will get into that. So subscribe for that because hers will be coming in the later future and it'll be really in depth and we'll get into it. I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in, and comment below who else would you guys like a video on. And if you like the music you're listening to, the link is in the description. Until next time.